Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing fantastic. You are watching the Energy Outlook for the week starting 5th of August 2024. My name is Marcello Kolax and I am walking you through the energy markets today. And I'm just looking into the camera and I look so much younger without a stubble. I am turning 36 this year, but I feel like I'm in my 20s. Maybe I will keep this for some time. All right, okay, so you are watching the Clever Markets weekly outlook, and last week was quite interesting. So the conflict in Israel has no chance in calming down anytime soon, and there was a chance of the conflict spilling over into neighboring countries. So this was mostly driving the gas markets higher. However, this was short-lived because by the end of last week, we did get a lot of bearish candle setups. So now the question is, how do we know that the market is going to correct lower, and when do we know how low? How low can it go, and when will it bounce and continue higher? When will this whole bearish setup be invalidated? Maybe we are just pushing higher immediately. So we are working with some really clear levels, and I'm just turning over and I start looking at the TTF and NBP front month products, and here we can see that the markets overall are having this bearish setup. We can also see that the TTF and not so much the NBP front seasons, German power front year, European carbon emission certificates, they are all set up for a corrective move lower. But the question is, when exactly is that? So we are working with different patterns here, and we will go into the detail in just a second to explain when we will actually move and how. So today, all markets or most markets are asking the same question. Question of the day or of the week, essentially. We have all these corrective setups. When do we know we are correcting? When is the setup being undone? And before we jump into that, here just a little update of what the markets have been doing. So on the Clever Markets dashboard that is updated at 7 a.m. CET, Monday to Friday, part of that, besides the detailed analysis, of course, is the outlooks of the hourly chart, daily chart, and the weekly chart. And we can see that most of them are bearish. However, at the start of this week, I think that there is a chance for us to correct lower. And here just one thing to explain how the dashboard actually works and how to make use of it on a day-to-day basis. This is not predicting the markets. So of course the markets can't be predicted, right? Anyone telling you something else is probably lying to you, or they don't know any better. But with technical analysis, of course, here at Clever Markets, I am not trying to predict the markets. We are simply reflecting what the markets are already doing. And with that, we are way more secure in trend identification, trade planning, and risk management. So that's what it's all about, right? So here then also the caveat. Last week, for most of the markets, they ended still bullish. There hasn't been a confirmed signal that now we are correcting lower. But with the evidence available to us right now, I do believe strongly that there are some bearish setups, and that all of these intraday moves for the next couple of days at the start of this week, they could all turn bearish very soon. And we'll talk about that in a second. However, from the key markets, the daily charts, they still remain bullish, because right now we are only experiencing a downside correction in an otherwise bullish market. And here, of course, we did have more than 130 participants in this week's sentiment survey. So compared to last week, we had around 20 people less but overall, this is still very representative. So over the weekend, I publish on my Clever Markets WhatsApp group and also on LinkedIn. I publish every week a poll. So if you want to participate and you are not already in the WhatsApp group, or you're following me on LinkedIn, just send me a DM. I'll put you on the list. So last week we were firmly bearish, but at the start of this week we are even more bearish. We can also see that fewer people are indecisive And more traders are either like bullish or bearish. So the bulls have picked up a tiny bit as well by percentage, but not significantly. But it is mostly the bearish sentiment that is growing. And I fully agree with that. So just going back to this chart here, as I said, yes, at the start of this week, we are still bullish because that's how we ended last week. But there is some really clear bearish triggers. And with the markets being set up bearish, the sentiment being reasonably bearish, and the tools also confirming that bearishness is more likely than upside continuation, at least a little bit, that kind of is very powerful. So we talked enough. Let's go into the details. And as always, we will start with the TTF front month. Whoa, not so fast. So the rest of this analysis is reserved for clients of the remote technical analysis desk. So if you need to know where the TTF and NBP and EUAs have their bearish trigger levels, or if you need to know when these levels are invalidated, then contact me. If I'm already on your WhatsApp, send me a message, or you'll probably find me on LinkedIn, or you can just go to clevermarkets.com and get in touch there, and we will figure out if your team is ready to elevate their technical game to the next level.